Hello guys, how's it going? Today we'll be going over a friend's recording. He was playing
Alright,
during my
boys,
plugs I
don't
host
worry. Last night
bi-weekly,
with Dario, just
and he was
1
playing a
month
lot of
ago,
heroes
I
here.
popped out.
Sorry, I have Lucio, but
I believe
we'll be
you.
saying Zen, Brig, and
It's okay.
Doofus as well. General rule of
let's
thumb
skip
with
the spread.
Lucio is you kind of need to save your amp it up a lot. He's a very important ability, so you need to save it. Like right here, you kind of use it just to get out of spawn. And you generally don't want to do that, even on Koth. I know a lot of people like doing that on Koth. I don't agree with it too much. It's better to use speed boost to while you're about to fight or while you're in the middle of a fight, which is both much more impactful than using speed to get like 1 or 2 seconds ahead. I promise you get a lot more worth out of it that way. And for the most part, Lucio, you do want to stay on speed boost.
Alright.
For the most part, you don't want to stay in heals too much. Like, it's good to heal, obviously, but and
I don't bow for you.
and like yeah, right here. So you see, one person was low, just one person, and you use your amp it up, and it's generally not that good to do that. You kind of want to, if one person's low, you can let your main healer deal with it. Only use amp it up when multiple people are low, like at least two. Like that's a bare minimum.
Center of your
Bubbling
right
here.
here.
3, 2.
And right here, like, you need to be staying speed.
I didn't get close enough to be.
Like, you're kind of
what's her name?
before standing at heals, and you're not really doing much. Like, healing is fine, obviously, but it's your team can be a lot more aggressive with speed boost. You do a lot more than a bunch of. Another thing, you're playing very, very, very grounded as Lucio. Lucio, you have to use his mobility a lot, like boot people around. Like boot people towards you, towards your team. You have to use his mobility for him,
easy,
not
please.
standing around, because his damage is really bad. Well, not terrible, but it's not the best. So you kind of need to be in their faces. You can also act as a pseudo tank. I know that sounds weird, but you can grab a lot of people's attention towards you and not towards your team.
I will
someone
so
come
Allow
back
your
to
teams to do a lot more.
I would like try to
That's an interesting thing you can do.
You guys see Doomfist up top, right?
It's a good call out too.
And Fair.
Fair has brush here.
So
On a slip. Once.
Yeah, that's pretty odd. Then Spyro.
Sucks.
Damn.
yeah, that's a good.
You guys see Doomfist up top, right? And Fair.
Fair has brush here.
So like here, for example, would be a great opportunity to use amp it up in speed. Because right now they're kind of like, the whole thing about dive is they have like a lot of abilities to go deep into your team, right? And what you can do to counteract that is speed your team away from where they went. That way, you basically just made them waste a bunch of abilities. Like that's me right there, going in. I just capitalized on your retreat out of position. But one thing you can do is just boot me back and speed your team away, speed you and your team away, and you guys would have been safe right there. It might have been the weaknesses.
On a slip. Once.
Yeah, that's pretty odd. Then
Yeah,
You definitely should use amp it up there. Not your ultimate, but your ability.
Yes, I have ult.
Good.
Anyways.
Double hit scan on
Going.
champ.
Careful, Hunter.
Hana was one hit.
Alright, we have combo. Ready? I'm going.
Yep. Just.
Oh, big
Pop
grab.
that. Big.
Big.
You guys want me to pop ult next team fight?
I mean, when we need it, yeah.
Alright.
There's a soldier. I'm going down on him.
So I'm just gonna skip through this for now.
Can we get this one's his upper?
Okay, right around here.
Okay.
Genie gets picked,
Be careful.
gets res.
Can we get this one's his upper?
So right about here.
Banana.
Is Monkey behind us?
So right around here, you need to press your aggression.
Hana behind the
So
building.
right now you guys are kind of sitting around. You need to communicate this with your team. Like one other thing is, I know everyone doesn't like being the shot caller, but the truth be told is, no one wants to be a shot caller, even when they say they do. no one really talks. Like right now, no one's really talking. They're kind of just giving general information, but they're not trying to talk about a play. So you kind of need to talk for them and be like, hey, we need to progress this. Like right here, you saw that I was right now. The other team
This one's his upper.
is choosing when to regress you guys, and you guys are kind of letting it happen. Like right here, if you speed boost your team, like communicate that and win with your Winston, you possibly could have won.
Banana.
And you could have speed boosted your Ana, and you could have beat it.
Is Monkey behind us?
There's a lot you could have done here, but I like that you're appealing for Ana
I need
regardless.
hills spec.
Right. So yeah, come back. Right.
But here, like I said, like you're just playing too passive. Like that's what I'm trying to say here. Like you see what I mean? Like you see what I'm saying? Like you're just letting the opponents do too much of what they want to. You need to do what you want.
Banana.
Is Monkey behind us?
I need hills spec.
There's a lot being invested on Monkey.
Yeah, come back. Right.
Anyway, let's just see how the fight turns out here.
I don't have bubble.
Oh, dude, how did I not die from that?
Doom, no cooldowns.
I had to reload, no.
Alright, Monkey dead. Nice. Come back to point now. Your bullies Arya. Let's get this.
Oh, I got slapped on his half. Black track is so
Definitely.
bad.
Let's go back here a little bit.
Monkey dead. Nice.
So right around here, for the most part, thank goodness your McCree wins the battle, but generally you kind of want to boop him away. You want to boop the monkey away from the out of reach of your
Alright, Monkey
your
dead.
teammates.
Monkey dead. Nice. Come
So
back to point now.
when a monkey goes in, just boop him away, and it'll make his life a lot harder.
Your bullies Arya. Let's get this.
So good call outs, push up on this.
Oh, I got slapped on his half.
In fact,
Black
you guys
man
should
tracks
keep
so
going and going
bad.
for staggers. You should help your team right now.
Active.
You can just, it's better to have your on cart
Push cart.
than your Lucio,
big
but
thing.
it's fine. Push this forward a little bit.
I'm gonna jump the Ana up top. No nade.
Yep.
Alright, nice. I'm gonna push forward and try to boop someone.
Can we get the Ana out there?
I got 3.
Alright, let's get this. Nice.
Mercy. Can we get the Ana out there?
I got 3.
Alright, let's get this. Nice.
Yep.
Alright, nice.
I don't really
nice.
like that.
I'm
I'll
push
be
forward
honest.
and try to boop someone.
Can we get the Ana out there?
I got 3.
It's a little risky to do that.
Nice.
You're kind of face tanking by yourself.
Mercy.
Fortunately, the opponents have trash aim, so you're able to survive that. But that can be very risky, so
Still interesting.
definitely be careful when you're doing something like that, even if they're in the grab. But damn, you guys rolled them?
Easy.
Good up on that.
Two again.
So basically, for that round, you're just, for the most part, you're playing too passively. And you're kind of just letting the opponents do what they want. So try to think about that when you're playing Lucio. You have a lot of tempo control, so you can control when things happen, not the opponents.
Like,
Thanks, Goblin.
I'm playing since open beta, so.
Yeah,
But I still don't have that much time in this game to for how long I've played.
You have 2 main takes, Goblin. You have dive.
Okay, this is okay. Okay, this is a whoa.
Gets that break here.
This is a whoa.
Chase is flanking.
This
Careful,
is
Zen. You're out
a.
of position.
I can't.
Well, yeah, I thought so.
Sorry, sorry.
You have 2 main takes, Goblin.
I'm saying,
Yeah, it's open beta, so-
I'll try to like pinpoint when it started becoming
But I
sketchy.
still don't have that much time in this game for how long I've played.
You have 2 main takes, Goblin.
So right about here is fine, and then this is
Yep.
this is exactly when it starts to become
Dive.
sketchy.
So careful.
Was it
Might
him
get
in
that break
Discord?
here.
Chase is flanking.
Careful, Zen. You're out of position.
I can't hold it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You don't.
That's
You're
shit.
very fragile, and you're very slow as Zenyatta. You ended up costing your opponent, your
Yep,
team
that's-
this
I'm not running
My
this
bad.
point.
because you're playing
Should I
too
switch?
aggressive. Zen, for the most part, a lot, like, as you see, people do anything to reach a Zenyatta. So what we're trying to do as Zenyatta is, it's kind of like the opposite of Lucio, is you're kind of, like, you know how as Lucio you can control when you can go in, and you want to initiate on them before they initiate on you. With Zenyatta, it's the exact opposite. You want them to initiate on you, and you want to be as far away as possible. Like, you want, Like if they're gonna jump you as Zenyatta, you want it so it's like the most pain in the ass position. And what do I mean by that? Like for example, playing high grounds or playing like really far back. Like you want to play out of reach of the opponents because your Discord, basically the important part of Zenyatta is his Discords and Harmony Orbs. And to, I don't know if you noticed, but the radius for that is 40 meters. So and that's a very, 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 that's like a big aura. So you have a lot of room to do those type of things. So you can play very, very far back. Like generally a good spot, like for example, let me give you an example on that spot on that map right there. So let's go on maps, Hollywood. Yeah. And this is fine. Taking a little bit on this one, sorry.
할리우드에 오신 것을 환영합니다.
축제를 만끽하시오.
Okay, so that right up there would be a good example of a place to go. So, and you have to, and the thing about Zen, you have to adapt to the situation. You can't just like stick around in just one place only. Like for example, this is a good place to start. Like you can get a little poke here, you can harass them as they come here, but like you have to consider, like let's just say for example they have, I don't know, a McCree, a soldier, a Hanzo, Widow. Obviously you can't play up here if you don't have a tank up on like, then you have to drop more down to here and use cover around here more. And let's say they're pushing you guys a lot, and you know they're gonna want to go for you, then you can go around here. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you always want to play out of reach of the opponents. Like, you need to, like, if the opponent's gonna stand around there, right? Then you can play around here. If they start moving up here, then you kind of back up to here. And if they start coming towards point, you know they're gonna want to pressure you inside the room, so then you play inside around here. And what that does is, if they're gonna come to you, right? They're confining themselves super deep into your team, and you're still out of reach. Like that's the whole point. You're still out of reach, and the opponents have to go out of position to kill you. So basically, you're trying to make it unrealistic to kill you. And then from here, this is where like a lot of good Zens do like a lot of interesting plays. Like for example, like if you notice that no one's coming for you, right? You can go ahead and go for interesting flanks. And go for different angles, you know what I mean? So you can be very creative as Zenyatta. You just have to keep in mind that you are extremely, extremely fragile. So yeah, but let's go back here.
I'm dead.
I'm gonna Winston.
Should we stand at a point and just set up somewhere else?
And jump. Don't. No one else going.
A good spot would be to go to high ground here, even as Brigitte.
Your healer's down.
Perfect.
Aura's the only one.
Oh shoot, I didn't change in time because my body wasn't paying attention.
Perfect. You're setting up high ground.
Okay, traces on me.
He's healing. Let's get this.
So right now it's kind of important to communicate when.
I think Winston's
Push down.
gonna
The
dive.
best part, the
high
best
ground.
thing to do
I
here.
know Hammer.
Oh,
Did-
that's
I'm up front. Help! Help!
I just
Help!
moved
Help!
back.
I could've, I tried the
I'm on David.
I don't really. So you guys are playing dive, and you guys are playing super front. Like this is why communication is very important. Like, this is not a good place to fight. This is very sketchy. Like this is if you guys were maybe Ryan Zarya, this would be a good place to fight. But
Do you?
as dive, this is very. You guys are playing too
Where's
aggressive.
Tracer? I haven't seen.
And another thing,
No
you're
sleep,
being
Anna, Kurt.
inactive. You're having the same thing you're doing on Lucio. You're doing
Kill
Brigitte.
silent, kill.
So like, let me go here. Fortunately, that's me feeding. So fortunately, I fed.
No.
But
I'm on David. Do you?
for the most part, right around here, this is when you start to start pushing up.
I tried the moment
I'm on
Around-
David. Do you?
Around this area, like there's a tracer shooting you, and like she ran away. I don't know if you saw that, but she blinked right there. She's in there. As soon as that happened, you should have just been moved on from that, and you should have been pressing up with your Zarya. Right around here. So like don't like you can't linger too much. Fortunately for you,
Where's Tracer? I haven't seen you.
fortunately I fed
No sleep, Anna on cart.
as Hammond.
Yeah.
You guys are able to kill me. But you still could have got me here if you were with the Zarya, because I remember your Zarya. Let's go back here. Remember your Zarya's right here?
Tracer, I
Right.
haven't seen you.
She went from going here
No sleep, Anna on cart.
to going back in the back there. So you could have followed. You could have stuck with her. So just make sure as Brigida, you're
Yo, kill silent, kill
basic.
silent. He's
You're,
what?
you're basically
So?
an off
Kill a
tank.
monkey.
Just keep that in
If
mind.
that's not a monkey, that's a hamster ball.
You're basically an off tank, so you need to play as an off tank with your team. Another thing, stuns. Tracers like to bait stuns out. Like if you feel like the tracers are making it easy to stun, then generally don't go for the stun. Like they're trying, like right here, it's a clear bait. Like she's playing just outside your reach. What you can do instead is just walk up to them and pressure them away.
Assault
Can you
point.
get Tracer?
Yeah, and then she did end up killing you for that.
Yeah, you did from
Generally, what you want to do, if a tracer's not, if she's just not gonna like push up, then you can just deny. Like you could just deny this whole corridor, right?
Alright, that's tough.
Just by keeping your shit up, they will not pressure you. There's nothing they can do.
What's in a second, Cody?
So don't overextend for a tracer. Make them overextend for
Okay,
you
cool, cool,
and
cool.
capitalize on their mistakes.
Tippa, Tippa, hear me?
And they're all one.
They're all inside. I'm on more no fade.
Yeah, you can try McCree.
So
Anna,
right around here, you did miss a stun on me.
more no fade.
Yeah, you can try McCree.
Right around here, you could have gone for an easy stun on me right here, like that. It's very predictable what I'm doing, and you could have stunned me right there, and possibly stop me from doing what I want to do. But you just need to play more, a little more reactive. Like, and as you can tell here, your team is
Anna's one.
losing the
Anna's one.
fight. There's
Cart.
nothing you can do.
No, done.
At this point, you're just staggering
I'm
yourself.
slaps.
It would have been better. Like I would say, like right around. I'm show you when you guys lost the fight. Right here. Right there. You lost your main hero. The fight's based. There's a couple heroes that if you lose early on, you know the fight's basically over, and Anna's definitely one of them. And now your soldier's dead.
Anna,
Like, everything
again.
is just gone. So
He wants
right here, you should have been just coming back towards spawn, trying to regroup for next fight. But instead, you're kind of going in
Anna's
like
one. Anna's one.
down
Cart.
three,
No, done.
down 3 people. I think no 4.
Wow, slaps.
But,
I have to realize
yeah,
it
no,
was
3, it was 3.
unfortunate
But yeah.
time. I'm so mad.
You're kind of staggering yourself here, now making it a lot harder to recontest.
I have one shot until the auto.
Let's still do it. Let's see what you guys do. Since we might have to give it up.
Done.
Hard
Cart
game.
here.
Oh, Tracer kills yourself.
On cart. On cart.
Slept again.
Oh shit. Okay, so you guys do win this, but okay, let's talk about a couple things here. Okay, so everyone's just kind of shooting at whatever. So using a couple things. Do not just initiate a full HP target with a stun, especially a tank. Because it doesn't really do anything. Because like, for example, like right here, you stun me, like you stun the hamster, but he's full HP, so it doesn't really do anything. You know what I mean? Like he's still gonna be able to survive and leave the situation, and you do some damage, but nothing to be impactful. Generally, what you want to do is you want to call out who you're gonna stun as soon as you stun them. That way, and then like you need to do it when they're around like half or low HP. And that's the only when you want to stun somebody, because that way you can convert the kill a lot more reliably that way. And that just kind of goes hand in hand with what I was talking about with Lucio, is you kind of need a way when it's most impactful to use your ability. So like, for example, like I said here, using your stun when someone's half HP compared to full HP is a lot more impactful the other way around. Another thing you want to use your save your stun for is for the stun combo, which is here. Let me show you. You probably already know this, but I'll show you regardless. The thing you're kind of want to use your stun to do the most is
제가
the one shot
여러분의
kill,
방패가 되겠어요.
which is this. Oh, okay. You didn't see that? No one saw that. We don't talk about that.
저리 꺼져.
Here, I'll show you. This time, I somehow failed it. I don't know how I failed that, but
제가 지켜드릴게요.
yeah, that's the one shot combo right there.
이 순간을 위해 갈고 닦은 솜씨라고.
So it's just 1, 2,
혈통
Just like that,
방어야말로
that's
최선의 공격이지.
and you can confirm kills like all the time. Like if there's like an Ana by yourself, you could be flanking somewhere. You can literally just come out of nowhere. As long as you land these 2 hits, that's it. That's all you need to do. Because they're dead. As long as you land 1 hit, that's it. So just keep that in mind when you're playing Vegeta. That's against 200 HP targets.
Winston, one. Okay. Take a big on Hammond. Careful on the back cap. I'm gonna get this tracer and just.
Same thing. The Tracer once again baits
Tracer's
you there.
Nice.
Dude, I'm.
It's sometimes more important, like I
Get
said,
kills, I'm gonna go
to
for
use
their,
your presence to
support.
zone somebody
Alright.
than to go for a stun. Because once you use your stun,
I've
you're
been
not
doing
threatened to the
comms and I
Tracer.
realized I was muted.
Don't be
half the
afraid to,
time.
like I said, use your character to zone people out rather than go for the kill.
I'm the only one on the cart.
That's fine.
Okay, once someone's coming to the car, I think it's Hammond. Yeah, he's here.
No fade more.
Let's get him, let's get him. Oh, where's the old Stu? Where is it?
And in the back. More's lit.
Oh my god.
Uh,
It's a scary game, bro.
I'm so full. I'm actually 30% bigger at.
So let's talk about that. I was just kind of going through this real quick before I went and talked about it. So good call out
Yeah,
on
he's
the
here.
Hammond.
No fade more.
Let's get him, let's get him.
Generally, when there's a Hammond ult going on, don't be afraid to swing around.
Oh,
That really
where's
helps
the
to
old Stu?
nullify it.
Where is it?
It just takes 2 swings
And in
for
the back.
Vegeta to kill mine.
More's lit.
For now, you're just kind of. This is good. You should eat this Zara right now. I know you do end up eating her a bit, but it would have been better
Oh
to eat
my
her
God.
at that second. Because what if, for example, like a McCree shot her, like she would have died. So you need to be very reactive.
It's
to
a
these.
scary game, bro.
I'm so full. I'm actually 30% bigger at.
Fuck. Hard.
So yeah, I mean, there's not really much you could have done
I was
there.
playing
Keep it
comp.
has to keep it. I
Definitely
have
things
grab
you
when
could
I
have
get
done
back.
better. Like for example, you're kind of 46. Like, it was just a tough. It was just a tough position. Your Ana
It's a
was
scary
dead.
game, bro.
Honestly, at this
So,
point,
I'm
you needed to hit somebody once with your flail or with your swing and wait to heal up to go into the fight. But regardless, like this fight was basically lost because you're just so low. So like you're done. The
Hard.
monkey hit you into the mines, so it really hindered your ability to do anything.
I was playing comp.
I have grab when I get back.
I was playing comp one time and these kids did a nano to brig ult and it was the
sorry.
most insane thing.
Come on it.
Come back now. Ult's at 77%.
Oh, what's his one?
Once
Well,
again,
then, boys, let's get
your
this.
coyote carries. Is alright.
Steve.
He was lit. I should go. Just a second.
You still
You
want?
can go up.
I don't know how to brig jump.
Tracer should be able to get her, I think.
They nerfed it, so you can't break jump anymore.
Can you
One
like
more.
day point so I can get sure?
Yeah, I'm a point. Alright, well, by the way, if they're pushing
back-
So with
cut,
Rally,
yeah,
contrary to what a
you
lot of
got it
people
right.
think, it's better to use
Right.
Rally mid-fight than before a fight starts. I know a lot of teams, a lot of players like to use Rally before a fight starts to give armor, but I promise you, it's 1,000 times more impactful to use Briggle while a fight's going on.
I don't have full here, monkey. Be careful.
Yeah. Oh shit, my bad.
Oh, it's
Oh, yeah.
Do they have
back.
no like cooldown so down the left?
Oh, I actually look up the freaking hammer.
Yeah, you kind of didn't turn your yeah. So don't panic. I see when a lot of players they panic when they see us when they see a Devo. Don't be afraid to like
That was
shield
my bad,
bot it
my
and
bad.
just
I'm
like
coming
shoot
back. I
it
do
straight
have
up
ult.
because you can shoot it
Stand on it.
Brigida. It's really easy.
I can pop ult soon.
It's, you kind of just pushed up for no reason here.
My bad.
Let's go back for it. I think it's right
Oh, I
about
actually
here.
look up the freaking hammer.
Yeah. So all you have to do is just back up and then shield behind you. That's it. But instead you decided to push up too aggressive and
That was my bad.
And you
my
didn't
bad.
turn
I'm
around
coming back. I
time,
do
so
have ult.
it's kind of
Stand
unfortunate.
on it.
I can pop ult soon.
I don't know, grab again, dude. What the heck?
Dude, you're insane on Zarya. I like that Junkrat pick.
Yeah, I know you're. I think you're AFK here or something, but yeah, you need to be more
If you guys
responsive
can,
with
like,
those
somehow
Z's.
magic me touch
I'm dead.
And using Brigo here to it's just not ideal. The fight was basically
Oh,
lost.
yeah,
Yeah, the fight was lost.
Damn. Sorry, I tried.
Yeah, like you just need to evaluate here. Like you still have respawns going in, and you're down so much. So don't try not to waste your
Yeah.
ultimates like that. Try to make sure to
Right.
save them when you guys will need it, and not on a losing fight.
Almost back.
Heck.
Run up.
Winnable. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Tracer, you ready?
So yeah, holding this corner
I'm with you
definitely
guys
good.
so you can push up.
Okay, yeah, and right here, same thing. You could have V'd your
yeah,
Junkrat, but you're just
Tracer,
reacting
you
too
ready?
slowly. You're missing a lot of opportunities to help your team.
Give me a sec.
I'm with you guys so you can push up.
Another thing is you're noticing that your team, your timing on when you
Yeah,
push up
more.
is just not there. For example,
Careful behind you.
on top of not communicating with your team when you want to go in, you're not going in with your team when they decide to go in.
Yeah,
Like
right.
even if it's not
Tracer, you ready?
optimal, if you see that like for example here, 2 people are going in, 2 people are committed to fight. So that's a third of your team in a fight. Like you might as well go help them,
I'm with
and your team's right there. So you just need to be more responsive to what your team does. Like even if you don't
you
agree
guys
with
so you
it,
can push up.
it's better to do something stupid as a team than to do something optimal by yourself.
I got 4.
Brig behind. Brig killed me. At least you Junkrat.
Ryan's or what's the what the fuck?
Oh,
So I was just going through that real quick.
Brig behind. Brig behind.
So there's a couple of things. What basically led you to that death here was missing the stun. That's pretty much what led you to that death. A lot of people are able to bait out your stuns really
Yeah,
easily when you're playing Brigida. So just try to make sure they're within your stun range. It's hard to describe it. I might as well show you here. It's long, but it's not that big. It's not as big as you think. Let's see.
제가 여러분의 페이해
I would say.
제
Oh,
뒤로
they say
오세요.
hi. What the fuck?
샵. 안녕하세요.
Oh, what the fuck? Okay. I would say I think this is like your max range. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So basically 5 meters. See if I can do it from here. Wow, I can do it from there. Okay, I take that back. Looks more like that is a whoa. What the fuck? I'm doing it again. Holy shit! What the? Okay. I guess is it 8 meters? A little under 8 meters. I think it's exactly. So this should stun. No. Is it this? Holy shit, that is a long range. Anyways, this is basically where the stun. This is the max stun radius is. Okay. One day, one day I'll get it. Holy shit, dude. Okay, I'm not gonna edit this part out. I'm just gonna leave it here. How was I able to? I'm so confused. How was I? I'm trying to figure this out. I don't play Brig. There you go. Okay. Here, dude. It's here. 7 meters. There you go. There you go. Perfect. That is still very, very long. So this is basically where you're gonna play around. This is your max radius. So just keep this distance in mind. This is a very important distance to keep in mind, because this is your effective radius to stun somebody. So you can be playing like this and go. But yeah. Let's go back here. Make sure somebody's within your stun radius. So right here, yeah, she was definitely out of it. And also, Moira is faster when she ults, so keep that in mind.
Brig behind. Brig killed me.
One thing you could have done that it probably wouldn't have worked, but it's better to try it than not, is using your flail to push people back. You could have possibly pushed her back right here.
Brig behind.
Just like so, instead of just like
killed me.
standing there, you could have just pushed her back.
At least she jumped out.
Ryan's, or what's it up? What the fuck?
Oh, there's one mine left on it.
Oh fuck. Winston is 1 HP. It's pretty low.
Careful, Anna. Don't get staggered.
But it's low.
On your right side. Get side, get side.
Okay, so
fuck.
right
Winston
here,
is 1
survivability
pretty
is
low.
like
Careful,
super
Anna.
crucial.
But it's low.
You need to keep your shield up,
On your right side.
and putting your flail up
Get side.
just makes you you're locked in that animation, so you can't shoot at all, and you just make yourself exposed to getting fired. So just especially when it's very, very important to survive. See, you're down 3 people right now. Your survivability is very crucial.
On your
So
right side.
all you have to do is just shield into the point and just play safe, play around that bus. You should have in fact played around this bus right here. Fuck, I can't even draw. Put around this bus. Wait for the cart to get right about here, right? And then as soon as the cart is right about to touch, then you go in. Then you go in, and anyone who tries to contest you, you can just stun and boop them away or whatever you like to do. But
Get side, get
to
side.
just go face first when the cart is not
Believe the fight
exactly there
is
yet, definitely cost you your team that point.
I can't fuck.
You could have possibly recontested that.
Okay.
And that was a big maybe, but it was still doable. Anyways.
Oh,
It's hurt. Just gonna
yeah.
screw it right now.
Wow, what is?
Play in the room area. That way I can do.
Alright.
Okay.
Okay.
You have a bastion. I don't know why you have a bastion, but you have a
Move.
bastion.
Shares
Sombra
outside.
behind.
You
Just hurt
basically,
Ken like it's gonna
one
screw
thing
it.
you can do is Brigida is, if you know the opponent's gonna dive somebody, you could just play where that person is. Like for example, a common thing is a Brig by Ana or Brig by Zenyatta. Right here you have a bastion. You know for a fact they're gonna dive that bastion. So a good thing to do is to actually play with your bastion, like on top of him. Right? Obviously don't block his line of sight, but you can play with him. So if they dive him, you can shield, you can melee, and then he'll be your damage source. So you'll be the protection, and he'll be the damage source. So right here, you just made a mini team. Like you have a shield, heals, and damage. Like it's just. So you definitely could have made a big play if you're with your with your bastion,
Okay.
possibly even
Okay.
sustain the fight.
More over
But
here.
you kind of left him by himself, so he kind of just died. And now you're caught in position.
Yeah, on point. Okay.
You're caught very, very deep. You, as Brigida, I know you're very tanky, but you still need to play with caution.
More over here.
Right now, you can see that the only person with you is your Genji. Everyone's besides you. Everyone else is back. Like, if you can turn, like as you turn your camera, you'll see.
Okay. More over
Sorry, my
here.
voice. Like, let's go. See, nobody's with you. Your diva is fucking out there on McCree. your Anna's in the room. Your diva's over here. There's somebody up here. Like, there's nobody with her, so you're kind of by yourself. So try not to make sure that there's people around you when you play Brigida, not just being by yourself.
Yeah, on point. Just a second. Can we get the?
So yeah, right around here,
Do you
a
guys
good thing to
have
do
these,
is
like,
to actually kite. So if you see that you're getting low or like there's a lot of people chasing you, don't be afraid to kite. And like a good example of that
Yeah, on
would
point.
be
Just a second.
going in this room, like backing up, like you should be backing up even more, and going and playing with your Ana, in this room, because that way your Ana can heal you, right? And you so your Ana can heal you, and you have protection. You have this wall to protect you. So don't be afraid to kite people and play inside and give up space for your own safety. Because right now Coyote's fragging out, your Genji's really fragging out. If you guys could just sustain a little more, you guys could like possibly win this fight. But it was just unfortunate. You decided to stay forward. Like you see, like look at their perspective. You're playing super aggressive. You know what I mean?
Blotted out right there.
Are you kidding me? What the heck just happened to my mouth?
But it's fine. So let's see here. You guys are gonna reset.
Yeah. Mouse slid across my entire mouse.
Wants to know bubble.
So now you guys are taking a
Or
forward
wants
fight.
measles. I'm gonna throw bubble in. Doing good.
Watch over Hammond.
Hey, pulse.
Oh, what?
Got two. Let's engage.
Hammond's low. Hammond's so low.
Check this out. Definitely need the ult around here.
Ana, can you nano me?
Very important fight. Your team is sustaining, so you need to ult this like fucking yesterday.
I am right.
Big.
Ana, please.
Aim inference. No suit. Winston's lit.
Yeah, you ulted a little. Brigitte's ult is one of those ults where you kind of want to use it right as the fight is starting. So I would say like right about here, right like
Let's engage.
as soon as you get it.
Hammond's low.
I'm so
Hammond's
stupid.
so
I
low.
thought you had it already. Yeah, right about here. Like you have like you should just use this right now.
I have ult.
Possibly
Ana,
could have
can you
saved the
nano
lives of a couple of people who are about to die. But yeah, just like you're just like I said, like your
Right.
reactions, your reaction on like your heals, your stuns, your flails, your ultimates, like you're just reacting too slowly.
Winston's lit. Diva's half. You're anti? Come on,
Chase
Bridget.
your dead,
Nice
chase your
combo
dead.
though.
What's the one? Bridget.
Are you gonna?
Let's get this. Let's get this.
That stun actually killed that Hammond.
Can we get Bridget, please? Or she's gonna stop forever.
Okay. Very nice. Chase on card still.
More if we can. Come on, Winston, though.
Okay.
Chase on card still.
More if we
I
can.
think you need to work
Come
on your
Winston,
stun
though.
combo. 'Cause I don't think you. Yeah, you definitely missed it. You need. It's faster than that. You need to do it
Very
quick. The stun
nice.
combo is a very short time.
Chase on card still.
But it's very once you get it done, it's
More
very
if
easy.
we can. Come on, Winston, though.
So just practice the stun combo because you definitely could have killed that tracer.
I got clean. Tracer got me.
Yeah, you kind of overextending because you missed this combo. It was just unfortunate.
Tracer one.
Try to practice the
Pop
combo
all
on your
over
free
him.
time when you can, maybe in a custom game or something like that.
Oh, suit.
Damn, your Ana just died to that
Did
bomb.
we lose that?
I mean, we're still on it. Diva's hacked. One.
Alright, okay.
Making Winston bubble.
So a couple things lost you that
Fine, buddy.
fight. Obviously, your teammates made mistakes. Your Genji wasn't. He was just fragging out. But a couple mistakes.
No, he lost.
A couple mistakes that was made was you didn't use your ultimate in time. You didn't land a stun combo, and you kind of overextended too. So the one of Brigide's strengths is sustainability. You want to sustain the fight as long as possible. You want to drag the fight as long out as possible. That meaning
Dude, we
that in
didn't
that
kill
case, you
Bridget
need to
fast
live.
enough, guys. Like, that's the moral of the story. You gotta kill Bridget and Mora super fast. Like, when they use their cooldowns. And especially
see you
when
guys
they're
do here.
inside.
Hey, how do you guys want to play this? I can
Look
pop
for-
ult.
We group up with
I don't-
Big
we don't
EMP?
need, like,
8 pulse.
Right around
again.
here, you guys need to wait. It's gonna be a one fight regardless. Right now, you guys just need to wait this out because your Ana's dead.
We need to be getting on point. I have my ult.
Yeah, trees.
Alright,
That was
popping
just a
all
bad
together.
call from your tank. I don't know if you guys do end up winning this. I forget, but I promise you this was a risky play considering you didn't have your Ana. Fortunately, your Genji pops and you get a lucky bomb. Yeah, and you guys have it. So it was a sketchy call. If your team hadn't fragged,
boot me into the fight.
Diva.
and people didn't get caught by the bomb, you guys could have easily lost this fight. Because your Ana wasn't here, but fortunately your team fragged.
Candy's on card. Now Melvin wants to.
But considering
Alright,
that this is an
nice.
important fight to win,
Nice.
I would have said, you don't be afraid to tell your team like, hey, let's just wait for Ana. You know what I mean? Don't be afraid to communicate to your team.
Alright, you get
Sorry, guys.
And
Now you're gonna play Doomfist. That's
give me
gonna be
the
interesting.
juice.
sorry, no personal. Can we get the diva up top?
She got one.
I have no matrix here. I need heals up top.
Okay.
Alright.
Do you know fly? I'm on Bridget
They're
here.
on higher.
Okay.
I'm out
Okay.
of
Okay.
suit.
Okay.
I'm
So
gonna die.
Doomfist, you're kind of playing
Mine's
him
on
like a pseudo McCree.
I need to play.
You're basically playing like a
Sorry.
McCree right now. With Doomfist, he's a very, very complicated hero to really explain, but I can help you out with him. Generally, this is what you want to do with Doomfist is you either want to get on the high ground, right, and start the fight off with like the E combo. Like let's just say on Hollywood, for example, you could have gone on the balcony on top, right there. You could have used this balcony to use this high ground, and I'll show you what for. So you generally use the high ground, you find a target, like, oh, let's just say there's my target, boom. You go for the combo, which is E on the ground, uppercut, and then you shoot uppercut. Make sure to shoot before you uppercut. That's very, very important. Like here, I'll show you what I mean. Pay attention as soon as I slam, I shoot before I uppercut, like watch. You see that? You see that? So you shoot and then uppercut. And watch. You see that? I shot him before I uppercutted. And that's what you need to do. That way you maximize your damage. You E. Just like that. It's that simple. Literally, yeah, it didn't even have to be a headshot. I could have killed him with a body shot. Another thing you can do is if you can't go for the E combo, like meaning you can't do this, like you can't do that. And there's another alternative to doing, which is like generally situations like that where you can't get to high ground in time or you just don't have time. You can just instead do this, and then use your E to get out. I kind of failed on the E there, to be honest, but let's see if I can do it again. Oof. Yeah. I'm not the best Doomfist player. I just know what you can do with him, but yeah, I'm gonna try this again. And then using your E to get out, just like that. And that's like a basic Doomfist ability. So just to round it up, make sure to set up on high ground. If you want to set up on high ground so you can set up with your E combo, which is the best, which is your slam combo. If you can't set up on high ground, or the next best thing to do would be this, and then using your E to get out. One thing you can do also is let's say that enemy right there is a Reinhardt and he's playing up front like that. You can go behind him and uppercut him towards your team, and then slam him back. So like, you can be very, very creative with Doomfist. You just have to know what tools are available to you. So the E combo, that's one. The punch into the uppercut into the E out, that's another one. And those are basically your only two combos. I mean, I've seen people go. You don't want to do this. I know people like doing that, but it's really bad. Or like another thing people like to do is just a straight up punch. That's very unreliable. A lot more reliable thing to do would be going for the uppercut combo, because that's like landing your shots is the most reliable thing to do. Anyways, I kind of dragged that out a little bit, but
I'm on Bridget
They're
here.
on higher.
Oh, I'm out of suit.
I'm gonna die. Ryan's on me.
and I'm not sure if you're doing it,
Yeah.
but you need to do your you need to jump.
We
You need to
need
jump with your punch.
and a brig.
Do you guys want me to play different DPS?
So what I mean by that is you can extend your
would be
jump.
great.
You can extend your punch
Brig,
distance
yes.
by jumping.
Why don't we just run goats?
I almost have nano, but
Looks like your team's gonna stick with this guy. And if you're in spawn, make sure to communicate that with your team. 'Cause I don't know if they're gonna push up or not. Yeah, it looks like they're pushing up.
Sam is behind you.
Yeah, it looks like they're
He's one-
5v6
Five
right now.
Got him.
Make sure to communicate with your team if they're
do nano, but
Well,
If they're
guys,
gonna be
we need
pushing
backup.
Make sure to communicate if you're in spawn. That way they don't push up.
I'm so retarded.
If we don't have our Ana with us. Sorry, it's very high charge. Yeah, we don't have our Ana.
you ready? You ready, Anna? I'm going up.
Almost there, almost there. Oh, about to get held.
Mine's one. This Zarya has grabbed here.
Alright, nice.
Push up to this one. I've grabbed in 20 or 10
Yeah, me and Lucio can be on card.
They went out the wrong time.
to this one. Mine's one. Charge. Yeah, we don't have our Ana.
You ready? You ready, Anna? I'm going up.
Almost there, almost there. Oh, about to get held.
Oh, I was muted. So there's not really much to talk about here. Your team kind of carried, but what I can say is you weren't really part of the fight. Remember, like so one way you could have been part of the fight was using that punch combo I was talking about, where you punch in, right? You could have used your punch to go in, and then using that punch technique where you jump at the end of your punch, that way you can extend your distance. And then you could have uppercut somebody, comboed them, or something, and then use your knee to get out. But you kind of just stood around. You didn't really have too much impact.
Mine's one.
You used your uppercut for no reason, and then you kind of eat away. Yeah.
This
Yeah,
Zarya has grabbed here.
so you basically didn't have much impact. Like, it wasn't
Nice.
that much to say about this. Your team kind of carried. Though you could have initiated better.
I've grabbed in front. I need heals in back. Hands on me.
Got it.
Ryan's anti here.
Shooting him.
I will.
We need to get this gun cart. Oh no, where he's at.
Oh, there.
He's dead.
Nice punch.
That's where he is. 6
Alright, we have
inches under the
Nano,
ground.
and then we have Nano Blade.
He's 6 feet. I'm done.
Yeah, let's use.
So again, not really much to say
grab-
there. Just kind of standard
Nano
doofus
Blitz.
things. One thing you can do though is set up for next fight. Remember I was talking about you want to set up for your E combo, which is your best. Set up to go high ground. You need to go up there. You need to be setting up for next fight. That way you can have the best possible impact next fight.
They're gonna have
Let's
grab 2.
Okay, I'll use first.
Alright, Anna, I'm gonna go. Anna? Anna?
Oh, rip.
Big.
Oh, you guys are pressing Qs.
I don't have enough damage, and I got forward grab.
Oh, yeah, we lose.
Yeah. Okay, so another thing as Doomfist, you need to be quick.
Big.
Really quick. Like, watch how much HP you get from landing.
Damage, and I got forward grab.
So you're 400, right? Watch how quick that goes away.
Oh,
You see that? With Doomfist, you need to be rapid, okay? So if you're gonna
Oh,
slam into into that
Big,
many
big.
teammates, from the enemy team,
I don't have enough
you need to
damage, and I got
slam,
forward grab.
and then as soon as you slam, uppercut, and then E away.
oh, yeah,
You kind of just
we
stood around
lose.
for like literally 1 second too long, and that was enough to go.
That was yeah, really bad.
And your teammates once again committed down the Ana. And remember before you guys committed without your Ana. Fortunately, you guys did win because your team fragged. But here, your team wasn't able to frag,
We had to beat there.
and
Anna, you're playing like E-Monk, come on.
you guys were able to rely on
A bot.
I guess you can just like go ahead.
you guys
and
were
enemy
able to
here.
rely on
Ryan's
just your
going for a
ultimates. You
flank
kind of
shot
rely on your team
five.
as well, but you didn't
The
have enough
enemies didn't
teammates.
get another grab. I could
Oh.
bubble you, Ryan.
So right here, you kind of need to be setting up. So again, you waste uppercut, and you keep doing that. Like the uppercut E is not a good combo. I'll promise you that. It's better to punch in and jump, so that way you don't like. Here, let me show you one thing, because this is a very important concept. So if you want to punch, right, but there's somebody in front of you, and you don't want to punch them, but you want to go past them. It's a very simple thing. You can do. Like watch. Normally, if I wanted to punch, I'll punch him, right? If I wanted to go punch, I can't even go past him because he's right in front of me, right? But watch instead as I do this. Let's see if I can find somebody. He's gonna stand right there, so watch. You see that? Oh, I kind of just jumped over him, but let's see if I can do this here. Oh my god, it's so embarrassing. I really don't play Doomfist or shit. But you can use your punch like that. That's a perfect example. You go right past him. See? Just like that. You go right past him. So, and then what that allows you to do is, like, normally there's like a Reinhardt in front of you. It's like normally a Reinhardt in front of you. You can completely avoid the Reinhardt just by doing that. And like, for example, let's say there's a Reinhardt right here, right? And there's like a Zenyatta back there, right? I can just do this. And then go for the uppercut. And then EO. So, instead of alternative what you've been doing, which is go for the uppercut, E, which is nowhere near reliable, because also another thing is you're grounded. So if you wanted to punch away, things can get in your way. Like let's just say there's environments or something like that. Instead, with this combo, you uppercut and then you E up in the air. So you're always gonna leave. There's no environment that's gonna fuck you up. You can always find a route with your E. If you uppercut and E, you can go for like that's pretty far. But anyways, let's just go on here.
Yeah, touch card.
I can't go.
I guess.
Yeah, never
I was
much you
okay.
can do at this point.
Dead.
But yeah,
I'm the only one left.
that's pretty much GG, I believe. Yeah, that's GG. So it was a good game. Just the main things you need to focus on would be you're either too passive or you're too aggressive. You need to kind of find that fine line where you're able to apply pressure but at a safe distance and you're not dying. So a couple highlights again would be like on Lucio, try to save your amp it up a little more for mid fight. Try to stay on speed more often. Make sure to heal, obviously. A good general rule of thumb is one thing that's a downfall of staying on speed all the time, which is, even though it's a good thing to do, one downside of it is you get your ultimate a lot slower. So a good thing you can do is you can stay on heals while during the poke phase. And if you don't know what poke phase is when neither team are committing to each other and they're kind of just like shooting damage at each other. So if you're in that situation, you can just stay on heals because you're just healing poke damage. It doesn't really mean, the speed doesn't mean anything. But when you're in the middle of a fight or like your team's about to fight, that's when you want to stay on passive speed. And if your team starts getting low, then you amp up heals. That way you still gain like pretty much the same charge as you would if you were constant on heals. But at the same time, you're able to have a higher impact with your speed boost with your teammates. For Zenyatta, you need to remember it's the exact opposite Lucio. Instead of playing super aggressive and playing very reactive, you want to play very proactive as Zenyatta and play back. You want to make the opponents overextend for you, and you just need to play out of reach of your opponents. That's basically the gist of it. And make sure this like obvious shit like Discord people your teammates are going for. For Doomfist, you don't know the combos. You're not setting up. You don't know the combos to go in. Like there's just like a lot of things that's wrong, and I don't know if it's probably because you're not experienced with them. But just keep that in mind. There's just the two main combos, which is punching in, right? Punch, jump, cancel. That way you can carry your momentum forward and go even further. Go for the uppercut combo and then E away. And then the better combo, what requires setup, is the E in, right? You use your cyclic slam to E the opponent, uppercut, and then use your punch to get away. So just make sure to keep that in mind and make sure to set up a lot for the next fight. So like A lot of time you're as Doomface, you're kind of standing around when the fight's already won, or like a fight you're trying to set up for the next fight, but you're just kind of standing around. Like make sure to play high grounds. Make sure to set up for that E combo. But yeah, that was basically it. Thank you for seeing me recording, and hope you're able to learn something from this today. Oops.